Hi, this is Erin from Blossy Bee. Welcome to my channel. The plan for this video is to unbox and check out the February 2026 Resin Molds Box collection. The box actually arrived in January as Ella from Resin Molds Box is so good with getting her packages out early. I had to let her know that my review of this box would be delayed, but I'm very excited to bring it to you now. Better late than never. So let's have a look. So this one is a twin heart ribbed storage tray, Valentine's special, mould volume 2.8 ounces or 90 mils. So a romantic masterpiece featuring two perfectly joined hearts. The exterior is adorned with sophisticated vertical ribbing, creating a modern tactile experience and stunning light refraction, perfect as a dual-sided jewellery organiser for his and hers rings or a stylish vanity dish for separating small accessories. So that looks gorgeous, and it's got the little ribbing down the side. Wonderful. Okay, next we've got the Love Floral Garland Coaster Valentine's Special. The volume of this, it's teeny tiny, 1.1 ounce or 40 mils. So this would be one of those great moulds to sit next to you when you're busy making things, in case you have a little bit of leftover. So that one is this. Oh, I like that. I like moulds that you can, pour resin in and around. That's very cute. This coaster features a bold love inscription at its heart. Where's that? Framed by I don't think this is that mould. Well, that's interesting. Okay, it's definitely a mini coaster, but I don't think it's the one on there. Let me have a little look. No, well, that's the first time that's happened. It could be that she had run out. I don't know, but I actually love this one. So I'm not sure. I'll try and link the one that is mentioned here and this one if I can. So, done. All right, Majestic Galloping Horse Wall Plaque, Year of the Horse. I didn't realise it was the Year of the Horse, so this seems incredibly appropriate. I've never done a mould like this before. I'm actually terrified of horses. I think they're majestic and amazing and all those things, but they're also very big. I'm 5 foot tall, so the average horse is a lot taller than I am. So the volume of this is 6.8 ounces or 210 mils. Celebrating the 2026 Year of the Horse, this plaque captures a noble steed with a flowing mane. It represents Ma Dao Cheng Gong, the spirit of instant success and unbridled energy. Oh my goodness, I wish I had unbridled energy. Oh, unbridled. Is that a joke? Boom, boom. Utility. A powerful statement piece for home decor, suitable for hanging in entryways or offices to invite good fortune. Okay, wow. I don't even know how I'm going to begin to do that. I'm still very limited with my hand with what I can do, but I'm excited to give it a try. Okay, number 4 is spiral ribbed storage jar with lid, and Ella knows we love our jars and lids. So the mould volume for this one is 5.2 ounces or 160 mils, and she's also given you the breakdown of the pot and the lid. And I do like that because sometimes I find the lids particularly might not come out as, as you would like it. So it's good to be able to know that straight away how much you need. A marvel of modern geometry, both the jar and the lid feature deep sweeping spiral ridges that create a hypnotic vortex effect. It's a high-end storage for cotton swabs, bath salts, or as a premium vessel for hand-poured soy candles. So I think that's going to be very elegant and very, very pretty. Okay. It's an interesting lid. I haven't seen a flat one like that. It sort of looks like it should have a decoration in it, but we'll see when we cast it. Okay, oh, we're over the page. Oh, this sort of reminds me of last month's box and what quickly became my favourite mould. That was a geometric pot. This one is a diamond weave geometric pot, and oh my goodness, this is huge. Okay, so the mould volume is 10.5 ounces or 290 mils, and it is massive. It is like a planter pot. Oh, oh dear. Inspired by artisan basketry, this pot features a dense, interlocking diamond pattern that feels substantial and premium to the touch. The utility, the ultimate planter for succulents or a heavy-duty holder for pens, makeup brushes and craft tools. Okay, well, there we go. We'll give that one a try. I'm hoping it stays in its circular shape, although it doesn't have a lid and it's always less pressure. Now this looks familiar. So Resin Molds Box had, oh, I like this much better. Sorry, Ella. So they've previously had a butterfly dish which had the hollow bottom, but the lid was really big and it was solid. So this isn't. And in fact, now I'm looking at this, I'm wondering if you could make each of these just on their own. So when I do this one, I'll be checking that out. So the mould volume is 2.9 ounces or 105 mils. And again, they've given us the information for both parts. Oh, and there. Now that's interesting. So in this picture, they've set it up on its end or feet or whatever you would call that and put flowers in it. And actually, oh my goodness, I'm having so many rememberings. I think, do you remember when I've done the Resin Molds Box, the owl night light, and I ended up using it as a trinket tray, and I think this is very similar, so that's cool. A delicate square box, no, with a breathtaking lid. The butterfly cutout is intricate and airy, featuring heart-shaped accents within the wing patterns. It's a showcase keepsake box where the hollow lid allows glimpses of the treasures or scents inside. So, I love that. That is going to be so pretty. Lots of ideas with that one. Oh my goodness, look at this. Mould volume 5.7 ounces or 180 mils, and it's the Ocean Spiral Shell Resin Tray Mould. It's an ammonite. Or at least it looks like an ammonite. Let's read all about this one. Inspired by the natural Fibonacci spiral found in seashells, this wide tray features a deep centrifugal swirl that draws the eye towards the centre. It's a versatile vanity tray for perfumes, a base for your handmade jars, or a dramatic centerpiece for a coffee table. So that's interesting. If they're saying it could be a centerpiece for your jars, I would have thought that it's going to have a textured surface, but look how pretty that is. Loving it. And yes, our extra bonus mold today is one I already own, and it is the adorable Barnaby Yak Planter. Who's Barnaby? That's so cute. Okay, so this is our most whimsical addition. Barnaby the Yak features an oversized set of horns, a shaggy Highland coat, and a lovable, curious expression. It's a charming mini planter for air plants or a playful desktop companion to hold paper clips and trinkets. So it does have that little cutout piece in there. And I would normally refer to this as a Scottish Highland cow. And there he is, so cute. And the volume for this one is 5 ounces or 160 mils. So what an amazing haul. That is incredible. And then we also got these beautiful little beads. I wanted to share a couple of little tips that I've found very handy when working with new moulds. The first thing I do with a new mould is usually cast it in a white eco casting powder. This gives me a really good idea of what I'm working with, and I love the look of the pure white of the Solid Solutions product that I use. And so because I'm going to be using these molds straight away, I'm going to measure them again. So I'm popping them on the scales, tearing it back to 0, filling them with water right up until the brim, and then I'm checking to see how that compares with the mils shown on the instruction sheet. And sometimes there is a variance, but I do this with every mould, and then I write down the amount. Now, if you're going to be working with eco casting powder like I do, what you need to do is take that amount of mils and, in my case, multiply it by 1.9 to get the correct amount of eco casting powder mixture. Now, my product is a 3-to-1 ratio, so I know that I need 3 parts of powder to 1 part of water. So when I multiply that and get that amount, I divide the amount by 4, and that'll give me my parts. So 3 of those parts become powder and 1 of those parts become water. As I said, this is for Solid Solutions, 3-to-1 ratio. You can work out your own quite easily by just doing these maths, checking it out in a smaller mould and seeing how you go. Okay, so I'm going to do exactly as I said. I'm going to cast all of these in white first, and I normally like to pour in my water first and then sprinkle the powder on top. I find that gives me a much smoother consistency, and then I just pour it very carefully into the mould, making sure that I get all of the little details covered. And then, to decrease the likelihood of air pockets or bubbles, you can then tap the mould or give it a bit of a jiggle or vibrate the table, and all of these things will just help that product release any air bubbles. The Solid Solutions SolidCrete is brilliant anyway. It's a bright white material, very low bubble, and it sets in about 45 minutes. So it doesn't take long before you can actually see what we're working with. I wanted to also mention that when I do this, I do note down whether I have too much mixture, and obviously I have had there, and so I just make a note of that, and then I adjust that for the next time I use it. I'm actually really happy to have extras because I'm using these little keychain molds, and I'm going to be making magnets out of these, which I'll show you in the future. And the other thing I wanted to mention, when you're doing your jiggling and wiggling and everything, if you bump these and material goes over the edge, just leave it. Don't try and clean it up. It's not like resin where you might change the appearance or feel of the edge later. This will just come off with your fingers afterwards. So any spills, just leave them. It'll be much easier to clean up once it's cured. All the little fragments that you break off after it's cured, keep them in a little cup or a container, and they can be used to help fill in future molds if you don't have enough material, or you can crush them up and use them for terrazzo. You can also pour any of the unused mixture, if you don't want to put them in molds, pop it onto just your silicone mat and let it cure, and then you can peel that off and add it to that container as well. Now, I found this lid really difficult to get the eco casting solution into all of the little nooks and crannies, so I'm a little bit nervous about how this one's going to come out, but will only be about, as I said, 45 minutes, and I can check. And my favourite part, demolding. So everything has cured beautifully, and I'm going to just demold all of the little extras first, and then somewhat nervously demold this magnificent horse. As I mentioned, I've never ever had a mold like this before. Oh my goodness. Okay, if you're a horse lover, you need to get this mold. This is magnificent. The amount of detail in that is ridiculous. It is gorgeous. Oh, I love it. Okay, the little heart coaster, which is beautiful. Lots of relief outlines in that too, so that gives you lots of opportunities to use different colours and textures and things. And then this is the little heart trinket dish, which has the 2 compartments in it, and that definitely makes a very sweet little trinket dish. Now we've got the little lidded pot, and demoulding the lid part first. And yes, as I suspected, that has got a bit of a jagged edge. I just couldn't get all of the air out of it. And then the pot, I love a slight little dent in there, but apart from that, it's perfect. And lastly, we've got the little Highland cow. And this is beautifully easy to demold, lovely soft silicone, and he is so cute. I love him. Well, I am so happy with that first batch of molds, and now I've got the last 3 here. So we've got that gorgeous spiral ammonite looking trinket tray, the little butterfly mould, and the planter mould. So I'm just using exactly the same procedures, mixtures, everything, and I'll speed through this so we can get to the demould. If you have this ammonite sort of seashell mould on the right yourself, make sure you spend quite a decent amount of time getting the air pockets out of those edge pieces. I found it quite tricky to do. Just the design of the mould. Sometimes you get a mould which has got those sort of shapes or not quite angles, but it can be quite difficult to get the product into all of those nooks and crannies. And of course I'm redoing that lid just to see if I can get a better product, spending quite a bit of time just with a little curved plastic tool, trying to pull open the mould to allow the product to go in. But boy, it is not easy with this one, and I've got a couple of little extras and some material that I'm going to use for terrazzo as well. After demoulding all of the little extras, it's time to have a look at this butterfly mould, and I'm quite intrigued to see how it turns out, because from the picture that Ella provided, it looks like it is more of a vase than a trinket dish, and I think I'm just realising this now, that it actually has a gap at the top. And so let's see what it looks like. And I'm probably going to go into a little bit of a Kath and Kim mode here, but it looks nice and it's unusual. If you know, you know. So that'll be interesting to see what I can come up with when I'm putting all the pieces together. The little lid came out similarly to the last one, unfortunately. Lots of little bubbles around the edge, and I'm just not loving it. The lidded pot might end up being just a pot. Now this one, look at this planter. It is gorgeous. It is so highly detailed, but very easy to demould, and yeah, very excited to do this one in some different colours and textures and things like that. And then lastly, we've got our sea mould, our like a trinket dish. Now look, after all that work, I still did get those little pieces that are missing, but they are on the bottom, which is good. Okay, so of course I had to go again. So I've got the little Highland cow, and I've got the little lidded jar mould, which I've now decided is just a jar, no lid. Also, the lid was very difficult to get off the jar because it didn't actually have a handle to it to pick up and hold. So there you go, this happens sometimes. So I've decided to do a sort of a dirty marble for this one. So what I'm doing is I've split the amount I need. I've just done some quick maths and worked out, and I've got 3/4 in one colour and 1/4 in a darker colour, and I'm just using some of the beautiful Solid Solutions Pearl Pigments mica powder to add that colour. And if you're doing it this way, I would strongly recommend that you actually add the mica powder to the dry powder first before adding it to the water. I've just had a much more consistent colouring from using this method, and so then what I'll do is I'll get another cup with the amount of water in it for each and tip them in, stir them, and then just sort of vary the way I pop them into the mould. I do end up with a little bit of the coloured mixture left over, so I'm just going to grab that little heart trinket tray again and fill that one up, and then I'll move on to the jar. I'm using exactly the same method for the jar, just with different colours. And unfortunately, I used the total measurement of the jar and the lid for the jar, so I did end up with quite a little bit left over. And I just happened to have randomly a little unicorn mould on hand, and so I've just popped the extra into that, and then we can see that in a moment. It really does feel like just a moment. It's probably less than 45 minutes later now. And here is the little heart coaster. Now I've poured that very thin, so I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with that. But I had a couple of little extras as well. And now let's have a look at our unicorn. That was a very random addition, of course. And he's super cute. He's couple of different shades of bluey purpley colours in there. Okay, so let's have a look at our Highland cow planter. And again, this is quite easy to demould. The centrepiece just pops out. It's a very rewarding way. And you always hope that you've got their horns intact. That's probably the most fragile part of this mould. Yay, he looks super cute. So onto the little pot. You'll just see me dusting off some of the excess on the top there. It comes off so easily just with your fingers. And I love this marbling on here. This is going to be, I think, one of my new favourite little pots. I love it. In fact, I love it so much I make it again straight away in a green colouring this time. And I also do the Highland cow. So I've got a darker sort of a sage green and then a lighter pale green that I'm going to add in as well. And I'm just hoping that gives me a really pretty marbling. Oh, I did alternate with some white for the bottom part too. So I'm up to my third of each of these ones. So definitely looking forward to seeing how they look in this colourway. And luckily, when they're cured, I really love them. So the little Highland cow came out beautifully, and loving all the different tones on him. There are a couple of little air bubbles, and I will have a go at sanding those out. And then here is this jar again, and I'm really loving it. So I don't normally decorate things that I make with markers, and there are so many people that I follow on YouTube that do this beautifully. But for some reason this day I decided I would have a little go, that I would paint some eyes and a little mouth and hooves onto the two little Highland cows, and I'd have a little go with the unicorn. And I sort of wish I didn't. But anyway, look, you'll see in a moment. I'll go through each of the moulds that I've made, and you'll get to see. I think my preference is still just to leave them as they are. But, you know, maybe it's just something I need to keep practicing. If you haven't watched my previous video, it just sort of goes into a little bit why I've been away for a few months from YouTube, and also I'm able to share with you that I'm doing some art, some pencil sketching and watercolour painting as a very beginner, basic beginner, as you know, some therapy, and I'm really enjoying that. And maybe that'll help with my confidence with decorating and embellishing these items too. As always, if you like any of the moulds in this video, I'm going to show you each of them, and I'll also include the links to them in the description box. And the subscription box themselves, I am so lucky that Ella gives these to me every month, and they are something that I think is definitely worth considering. You do get quite a few moulds in each box and extra little bits and pieces, and it has genuinely saved my creativity in the past and is doing so again right now. It's so lovely to be able to open up one of these subscription boxes and just immerse yourself in the possibilities. So I do have a code for Resin Molds Box. It is Blossy Bee, and that will give you a discount. And also, if you're interested in any of the Solid Solutions products, that is the SolidCrete or the mica powders, and you're in Australia, then I'll also share the link for that. And again, I have a discount code that you may be able to use. So let's go through each of the molds and what I've made and see what we think. Firstly, we've got this little geometric heart coaster mold, and I did that one in just the plain white SolidCrete, but I can see lots of possibilities for doing that in resin and using all of those detailed areas with different colours. Then we've got the little heart trinket tray with the 2 compartments, the gorgeous ammonite spiral trinket tray, the butterfly, which can be used as a little vase, and then this gorgeous planter pot with the beautiful geometric sides, and then this magnificent horse. And I'm really looking forward to making many of these in the future in resin using different colours and things like that. Now, before I show you the last 2 moulds, I've been experimenting with some different sealers for eco-casting materials. And this time I've used a product called Cromolyn Ornamental Sealer. And it's a spray-on coating, and it's marketed as being for sealing terracotta pots and garden ornaments. And it's very easy to use with the spray and then a brush, and it gets into all nooks and crannies beautifully. And so far, so good. So I'll keep you in the loop. I've got quite a few other sealers that I'm working with at the moment, with ranging from waxes to liquid waxes to paint on, brush on sealers. But as I mentioned, this spray on one so far has been going really well. So here are the last 2 moulds. This is the little Highland cow mould, and I ended up making 3 of these and painting the 2 coloured ones. And then lucky last, this is the little swirl storage jar, which I have decided I don't love the lid, and I'm only using it as a jar now, and it's a gorgeous little jar, just the perfect height for little makeup brushes or things like that. So yes, I'd highly recommend this set of moulds, and I just think that the subscription box is a lovely idea. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. It means the world. And I feel it's just a great feeling to know that I can share this crafting experience, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.